I'm Lamar Alexander. I've always thought if I got in really bad trouble, I'd want Dick Durbin to represent me as a lawyer. And I will say to the small businessmen and women here from Illinois and from Tennessee and from Wyoming and other states, you couldn't have two better advocates for your cause than Mike Enzi and Dick Durbin. I believe that the Enzi-Durbin bill solves the problem that we've been working on, they've been working on for more than a decade, and that's been stuck for 20 years ever since the Supreme Court decision. And I believe that if I were an online retailer anywhere in America, I'd be making my plans to start collecting the state sales taxes that are owed when people buy our product. Because under this legislation, which I believe is going to happen since they've solved the problem, it will be easy to do. 20 years ago, the Supreme Court said states couldn't require the online sellers and the out-of-state sellers to do the same thing they required the boot store in Nashville to do because it was too complicated. Well, all that's changed. Now all an online seller has to do is the same way I find out what the weather is outside Maryville, Tennessee. I just go to Google and I put in I put weather and I put the zip code and it gives me the information. And Amazon will be able to do the same thing. They'll put your name, the zip code, and the purchase. They'll know, it'll compute the tax, and it'll even electronically send it to the state. So it'll almost be easier to do online than it is to do in the bricks and mortar store. So that problem is solved. The Supreme Court said 20 years ago they invited Congress to act. Congress has waited 20 years to act. It's going to act today. This is going to happen. So I congratulate Senator Enzi and Senator Durbin for their leadership. I look forward to supporting and working with them. I urge the small businessmen and women of America to rise up and support it. We had a pretty good week last week. Amazon announced its support. At the same time, the president of the American Conservative Union announced his support. So many of those on our side of the aisle, the Republican side, who are worried about taxes, understand this is not a new tax, it's a tax that's already owed. Republicans believe in states' rights. Republicans believe in closing loopholes. Republicans are against preferring one taxpayer over another or one business over another. And in our state, everybody's against a state income tax. So this legislation helps on all those scores, and whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, it's the fair thing to do, and I'm delighted to be one of those in support of the 5 Republicans and 5 Democratic senators in support of the Enzi-Durbin bill. Let me introduce Donnie Eatherly, who is one of the Tennesseans who are here from P&E Distributors. He'll tell you about himself. He lives in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, which is just outside of Nashville, and thank you for making the trip to Washington.
Thank you, Senator. My name's Donnie Eatherly. I am the president and co-owner of P&E Distributors. We're a wholesale performance and accessory aftermarket distributor in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. We're a 50-year-old family-owned and operated business that's in its 3rd generation. I'm here today because we have been fighting for this type of legislation for many years. We have been at a 10% sales tax disadvantage over mail order and now internet retailers a long time. With the advent of the internet and online shopping, it has gotten more difficult than ever for mom and pop Main Street retailers to compete. Now with smartphone technologies, my customers are just one scan away on their smartphones from knowing the lowest price on virtually any barcoded item in my store. With my online competitor's smartphone app, I scanned this highly performance carburetor and found it available from 6 online retailers from a price of $580 with free shipping to $1,104 with $11 in shipping fees. If I match the lowest price of $580, we will make roughly 3% profit and probably still will not get the sale because I have to charge an additional $56 in sales taxes. I don't know about you, but $56 will make me want to wait or contemplate waiting a couple of days for that to arrive in the mail. A study just released last Thursday by Deloitte and Touche says for the first time ever, the internet will be the #1 holiday shopping destination tied with discount stores. Allison Paul of Deloitte LLP said, "One of the effects of a stagnant economy and persistent inflation on the consumer psyche is a laser focus on price, now the common denominator." The study also said among smartphone owners, 27% plan to use their phones for holiday shopping, 56% will check on or compare prices specifically while in a store, some 38% will scan barcodes to locate product information. More than 1/3 will seek discounts, shopping, and sell information from their phones while shopping in a retail store this holiday season. I want to thank Senator Alexander, Enzi, and Durbin for showing leadership in drafting this legislation. We welcome Amazon's support for the Marketplace Equity Act, but unless Congress acts, these smartphone price check apps are a killer for Main Street. Thank you.